Ancient people had a different conception of time than what we got today. We've been taught that time is a straight line full of random events unfolding, and that those events are unfolding in sequential order, one after another, day by day. Ancient people's concept of time was a lot different. Their way of conceiving time was that each day is already written out. In other words, tomorrow is a parallel reality that already exists and it's waiting to come forth into the present. So each point in time already exists. For example, the year 2075 already exists and it's happening and everything is playing out right now. And we're just waiting for that parallel reality to pass into our present point. So according to the ancients, each day is like a card in a card deck with all of the actions already written out. And according to the ancients, we can move forward and backwards in time. Now, all of this may seem crazy, but the ancient concept of time is based on the law of polarity. So it's not just some pseudo type claim. And the law of polarity is a very simple universal law, which says that if you can go forward, you can go back. If you can go left, you can go right. If you can go up, you can go down. If you can go in, you can go out. You can have woman, you can have man. In other words, the law of polarity says that if you can do something one way, then by default, the total opposite way of doing that must exist. So if we can remember past events, can we remember future events? People may say no because the future hasn't happened yet. Now, the ancients said that the future is already happening. Just like I said, the year 2075 is happening right now. And it's just waiting to pass into our present point in time. To the ancients, when yesterday passed, it didn't cease to exist. Yesterday's you is still walking around in yesterday's reality, carrying out every action that it did in yesterday. And that day is still a parallel reality frozen in time, recycling itself through the multiverse. This was the ancient conception of time. And because of the way they conceived time, which is based on universal laws, then we should be able to move forward and backwards in time. Let's talk about the other law, which backs up another claim made by the ancients, which is that the future is already happened. That may sound bizarre, but there's a law that governs infinity. And the law of infinity is yet another simple universal law, which says that infinity cannot lack anything. All things must exist within infinity. That means the past, present, and future must exist within infinity at the same time. The infinity law says that the universe cannot lack nothing. That includes the future. All things exist at the same time. Every possibility that can possibly play out in the universe, it's playing out right now in a parallel reality. And that's another law of probability, which is married to the law of infinity, because the law of infinity has to act out all probabilities. Otherwise, the universe is lacking something. Because within the law of infinity, if there's something that can probably happen, it must happen. Otherwise, the universe isn't infinite. So all probabilities are being acted out in their own parallel realities. This creates what's called a multiverse. Every point in time from past, present, and future exists at the same time, and they're in motion, passing into our current space. Tomorrow, again, is a parallel reality that's waiting to come forth into our present space. If what I'm saying is true, we would be able to move forward and backwards in time. But can we move forward in time? My theory is that deja vu is just that. Deja vu, in my theory here, is us moving forward in time, coming back to the present you, where the event has not happened yet. Like if I shift my consciousness a week ahead and then I come back to this day. Well, that day hasn't passed here yet. I moved to the future, but the future haven't moved to the present in this particular point in time where I reside here. So if I come back here, that point in time still has to work its way to pass through this particular location. When that point in time does catch up to where I'm at, I will remember it. Now, people think that you can only remember the past because the logic behind remembering something is that I can only remember something if it already happened. But we've been taught that the future hasn't happened yet. And what if the ancients were right? What if the future is happening right now and we get a glimpse into it with deja vu? People, you shouldn't be able to recall an event that hasn't happened before. Your mind isn't playing tricks on you. I believe deja vu is proof that the ancients were correct about the nature of time. I believe deja vu is us remembering the future, and remembering the future is proof we can move forward and backwards in time. We can remember the future because just like the past, it already happened. And people may wonder if the ancients were so good at seeing the future, and if we can see the future, can we change it? Can we edit it? Nope, you can't. Anybody that ever had deja vu, you know what's happening from the very millisecond that it start to play out, but you just can't get the words out of your mouth until it fully come to pass. And a lot of ancient people wrote about this. Even in the Bible, they say in the beginning was the word. That means that our reality is scripted out and everything was already written before we entered it. If you ever created a video using an AI generation prompt, you go on a website, you give it a prompt like what I did here with the video you're watching now. I told my AI video generator to create me a video of a black man running down the street in a red shirt from a dog. It started with the word first, and then that manifested into a video. And the Bible says the same thing about our reality, that in the beginning was the word. It was written. That's just like me telling you, hey man, this video that you watching, it started from my prompt, my script first, and then it was generated. Now the word generated sound a lot like Genesis, don't it? Maybe the ancients was telling us we're in a simulation and everything is scripted, just like the Matrix. Maybe deja vu is proof of that. The Bible says all things must be fulfilled. That's another way of the ancients telling you, you can't change these events. Just like the black man in my scripted simulation here can't change his actions. He can't change it. He's bound to the script that I typed before the video, and he can't edit it because it's all a simulation created from a script or a prompt on a higher realm. I can replay this video over and over, and if my little simulated man start becoming self-aware, he may start saying, hey, I remember doing this. Deja vu may be the beginning phases of our awakening as well, because I'm finding out with the more videos I make about deja vu that not everyone even have deja vu. People be in the comment section saying, deja vu isn't real. I'd be like, and you're not human, bro. Something wrong with you. Not me for having deja vu. Something wrong with you for not having it. How can I be so sure of my claim that we can't edit the future because we can't edit the past? But Sanchez, we're talking about the future. Remember what I said about the future? It already happened. If something already happened, you can't change it. So we got to look at the future just like we look at the past. I'm answering a question that people been wondering about for years. And the question is, well, answering a couple of questions. And one of them is, what does deja vu teach us about reality? Why can't I change the future or deja vu? If I know what's going to happen, why can I never stop it or get ahead of it? Because it already happened. Just like you can't change what happened yesterday. According to the ancients, we're like puppets acting out a script, and each day your new script arrives to you to act out. And you can't change what's written in the script, but we can change scripts though. It's like going into a library and reading a book. And if you don't like the book you're reading, you can't edit the words, but you can pick up a new book. we can shift to other parallel realities, in other words. Another example of understanding deja vu using a book example is, you ever been in school and you read ahead of the class? You get a couple of chapters ahead of the class. You say, let me catch back up with the class. I'm getting too far ahead. And when you get back with the class, some of the stuff you read is familiar to you on some of those future chapters when you read them back with the class. According to science, our universe each day is like a page of a book, but tomorrow is a blank page and we're writing the book as we go, which means that random events are unfolding each day. If that's true, we wouldn't have deja vu, y'all. If each day is a page in a book, then the words is already written on every page from beginning to end. And that's why if a student read ahead of the class, when he get back in sync with the class, he will remember reading those future chapters because it was already written. We're not writing this as I go. If we compare this book analogy to what science teaches, if you read ahead of the class, it won't be nothing to read because you'll be on blank pages. The class is writing a book as they go, and random events are unfolded in this book. This is what we've been taught, that time is aligned with random events that we're writing out as we go. Deja vu debunks that. You shouldn't be able to see what's going to happen on a blank page. If we're writing a book and tomorrow is a blank page, if you peek ahead on that page, you shouldn't see nothing. We haven't wrote nothing yet. So when you come back to the present and that point in time catch back up with the class, you shouldn't remember nothing because the class hasn't wrote nothing yet on that page. We're writing it as we go. But the fact we remember the future means that tomorrow and the next year and all that is pre-written. And deja vu means we can shift our consciousness to the future and come back to the present. And when the future arrives at the present, we remember it, just like a student that read ahead of the class. There's a scene in the Matrix movie where the Oracle tells Neo, you've made all the choices you possibly can make in the universe. We're not here to make choices. We're here to understand why we made the choices. That means that every good and bad act, every action you could possibly do, every probability for you is already manifested in every parallel reality. The reason the ancients said every action we can make is already made, it's because that's governed by the law of probability, the law of infinity. All probabilities must be manifested within infinity. It's a simple logic that the ancients had. And we have all the proofs to support that their logic is the best explanation for a lot of the mysteries and phenomena we experience in our reality, such as deja vu. So if we've already made every choice, then our whole journey is trying to discover why we made these choices. And in that discovery, we unlock our greatest version.